Rod Laver hailed from Rockhampton, Queensland, Australia. Laver grew strong and tough on his father's cattle property. Capable of the most superb and instinctive shots, Laver won the Australian 3 times and amassed 47 pro titles in singles, and if you include his amateur days, the total is 199.
When you think of great tennis champions, you think of Rod Laver. He is synonymous with champions and tennis, and he did it with so much class and dignity and sportsmanship. It's great to see Rod still around the sport so much. Everyone loves interacting with him. He's so humble, he loves the sport, and he stands for so many great things that this sport of tennis is about.
Well, how lucky is Southern California that Rod Laver and Mary Laver chose Southern Cal as their home for so many years, since Rod was, in most people's minds, the greatest tennis player of all time, having won 2 calendar year Grand Slams. Rod Laver's been a great friend of tennis, internationally, nationally, in Australia, here in Southern California, and he should be in every single tennis Hall of Fame on the planet.
Rocket Man was, from the very first time I saw him at the Los Angeles Tennis Club. I don't think I was more than, say, 12 years old, 13 years old. I saw him play, I think on court 5. It's the court next to the pool at the Los Angeles Tennis Club. And I was in awe. I saw him just ripping those topspin forehands, and he was going for his backhand. He was chipping and charging. He had the most fluid serve. I just love Rocket because he's so giving. You know, I went to Australia, and without the Australian men and some of the women, I just would have never been #1 in the world. So I owe you big, Rocket, and also just his kindness, his friendship, and he's the kind of guy, you know, he doesn't brag ever. So thank you so much, and congratulations on the Hall of Fame. Love you, man.
As a teenager, Laver was nicknamed Rocket by Australian Davis Cup captain Harry Hopman. Hopman preached super fitness and inspired numerous Aussies. Laver won 5 Davis Cups. Few champions have been as devastating and dominant as Laver. Pete Sampras has nothing but admiration for his idol.
Well, I've always looked up to Rod as a player, as a person. He was a class act on and off the court. He was a great champion, won everywhere. But I think it was the fact that he was humble off the court, and he wasn't arrogant, just very nice. And I've always admired that about Rod, and he was my idol growing up. He was my guy that I looked up to. I tried to emulate my game around his, and I just want to congratulate Rod on making the SCTA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
One of my favorite stories from Rod Laver is when I was talking to him about his wife. His wife was the love of his life. And I said, how did you meet Mary? And he said, actually, I met her at the Jack Kramer Tennis Club. I came there to train, to practice. Jack Kramer would let a bunch of us guys to train there during the Pacific Southwest. Mary was there, and we had a beer at the end of the day, and then we went out to dinner. And he said, I purposely left my blazer in the back of her car when she took me home because I wanted to see Mary again. Love that story. He had plans, and it was fruitful.
And of course Tracy's right. No way would Rocket have got a second date with Mary unless his jacket was left in the car. Absolutely right, Tracy. Well, Rod was a pain in the ass to play against, and I played him many, many times, and we're great friends on and off the court, and he's just been great for the game of tennis. A great champion, a great person, and a great ambassador for Australia, and just like Nadal and Federer today.
In fact, in 1962 at Forest Hills, he beat Roy Emerson to win his first of 2 Grand Slams. When Open tennis started in 1968, Laver was ready and whipped Tony Roach in less than an hour to take the first Open Wimbledon. Admired by the game's greats, Laver was honored in 2001 with the naming of Rod Laver Arena. His incredible legacy will be at the forefront with the first annual Laver Cup. His love for the game continues. There is no better inductee for the SCTA Hall of Fame than the Rocket Rod Laver.